Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we're seeing some really great movements here for Bitcoin's price and some altcoins. Let me share the chart. So Bitcoin crossed $93,000 once again today, looking very good. The bulls are in control based on the MACD on the daily chart. The RSI is on the way up, moving away from the oversold zone, which it had been over the past month or so. And we were talking about a move was coming, right? A reversal, because there was extreme fear and Bitcoin was oversold. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I put it in my newsletter as well. So we're seeing the reversal, right? The market always does the opposite of the herd, and we are on the move. The RSI is not approaching the oversold zone yet, but if Bitcoin, let's say, was to go up to maybe 95, 96,000, it could, enter that zone, but we're going to have to wait and see. Now, as always, folks, I'd like to remind you, markets can fake us out. I've been here since 2016. I've seen these things. So we need the market to prove that this is a legit rally. And while it seems that way, markets could easily do a 180 and fake us out. This is just the nature of markets. And if that's the case, then we will eventually find the bottom again and keep moving. But this does look good, and let's see what this week brings us. But if you look at coin market cap, not only is Bitcoin moving, but we got Ethereum on the move, XRP, you got Solana. So a lot of alts are waking up. Just the other day, I told you guys about Pepe making incredible gains. So some of these meme coins are getting liquidity as well. So life is coming into the market. The big question, and I know many of you have it on your mind, is this just a relief rally, or scenario two? This is the move to new all-time highs. Now, if it is scenario two or even scenario one, it doesn't mean it's going to do a straight line up. Markets don't go up in a straight line. So expect higher highs, then higher lows, and then the continuation. But what we want to see, and what will give me confirmation that we are moving to new all-time highs, is we get back above that 200-day moving average. So those of you watching on YouTube or Rumble, you can see the green line here on the chart. That's the bull market line in the sand. I've often told you guys, when we are comfortably above that, we're in a bull market. When we are below it in a downtrend, we are in a bear market. So we need Bitcoin to get back above that, and let's see where it takes us. There are a lot of people saying, that's it, the top is in, and we are just seeing a relief rally, a dead cat bounce. Now, I'm still leaning more towards the higher probability of this being a continuation of the bull market, but I could be wrong, right? So I just want you guys to understand that I'm laying all the scenarios on the table. I'm not definitively saying this is what's going to happen, because honestly, I don't know. And I'm being very honest. I don't have a crystal ball. There's other people who are saying it's definitely a bear market. There are other people saying it's definitely going to go to new all-time highs. Guess what? Ask them for the winning lottery numbers next week so we can all go play, right? So the point is, we're going to have to wait and see and continue to follow the metrics and the signals. Now, here's a great chart that was shared by the charting guy on X. And it shows, Bitcoin moving to new all-time highs of about 140K and touching the trend line from the previous tops we've seen. And that, the first wave, so to speak, will take us to about 125. Then we see a correction, then another move up to 140. This is a plausible scenario that could play out, but it's not guaranteed, right? So I hope you guys understand, when it comes to investing, we're looking at different scenarios and looking at the probability of them playing out. So again, we're going to have to wait and see. The move to 125 would be around March, and then the move to 140 around April. So my hope is that this plays out, because it will be very good for the altcoins making new all-time highs as well. If we are just seeing a relief rally for Bitcoin, it's just going to be a relief rally for altcoins, guys. I don't believe altcoins are going to hit new all-time highs. So we shall see. But, some of the factors, and these are facts now, this time is different. Why? For the first time ever, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high before the halving. That never happened in the history of Bitcoin. That was in 2024. For the first time ever, the year after the halving closed in the red, not the green. So that has never happened, right? So usually you have 3 green bars for the yearly chart, then 1 red for the actual bear market. So the people who are saying this time is not different, well, it is. That's based on the data. how do you dispute that, please? Right? Nothing to be emotional about, just it's the chart, it's the data. So this is why I'm presenting it to you guys. And look, obviously we all know what happened with the US, Trump, and Venezuela this weekend. And the US now has pretty much control of the world's largest oil reserves, which is Venezuela's is actually greater than I think the Saudis. And Venezuela actually holds 161 metric tons of gold reserves, which is the largest in Latin America. So the United States now has access to these things. I know there's a whole political side to this conversation. This is not a political podcast, so I'm not touching that. But as it relates to how this could affect the economy and markets, this is a positive. Again, there are real people involved, people's lives, and much more. That is a whole other conversation. I'm just giving you the point of view from the market. So this is good for markets. Now, here's some more data points that shows this time is different. So one user here on X highlighted that historically the weekly 100 EMA and the SMA crossed deep in the bear market. Each prior cycle saw a 50% plus crash to the cycle bottom within weeks. So historically, when this has happened, right, 2014, 2018, 2022, it sent Bitcoin down. However, we are seeing an unprecedented bullish deviation from the prior cycle. So Bitcoin's breaking out despite this cross happening. Again, this time is different. There are different factors at play here. And one of the things I've been highlighting is that the tariff crash, which crashed all markets, stock, crypto, and so forth, extended the timeline, the liquidity timeline, delayed all of that, plus an extended government shutdown. So that's why I think we're still seeing some of the lagging effects from that, and it's playing out here in 2026 versus a straight dive down into a bear market. But again, we're going to have to let the charts and the price action prove itself. One thing to highlight is that the Coinbase Bitcoin premium is recovering. Institutional demand for Bitcoin has started to pick up. So this should come as no surprise because we're seeing the price move. And I've always shared, guys, the on-chain data from Sentiment, and that is, are Bitcoin whales accumulating or distributing? Because that moves the price. They are the ones operating, moving this price, and that includes market makers and exchanges and so forth. So right now, whales are slowly accumulating. They've stopped the distribution. That's very good. But again, relief rally or move to new all-time highs, we will have to wait and see. The other factor, which is a very macro metric, is the ISM, which tracks the business cycle. And that is at a point where it's about to break out. And we're going to wait for data from the government to see how this is playing out. And plus, all of this is influenced by liquidity and the Fed doing quantitative easing, which they've started. So this is something to pay attention to this week as well. In addition, Bitcoin dominance looks like it's ready to dump, and ETH dominance looks like it's ready to pump. So if we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart here, we're seeing some breakdown, we're seeing some weakness. So this should come as no surprise because we're seeing the altcoins move. So when Bitcoin dominance is falling, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin's not moving. It just means the majority of the liquidity is not on Bitcoin, but it's spread throughout the market. So seeing some positive signs here, guys. And I'm hoping and praying that this is a move to new all-time highs and not just a relief rally, but we're going to have to wait and see. Another positive sign is that Bitcoin and Ether ETFs pull in $646 million on the first trading day of 2026. So the ETFs are starting to see inflows again. So this is a great sign for the price to continue going up, guys. So this is what we want to see. So we got whales buying, ETFs are seeing inflows again. The charts are looking good. Bitcoin's breaking out. Alts are waking up. But I always tell you guys, be cautiously optimistic because markets can fool us. But, let's continue to watch it and let it prove itself. Now, folks, this episode is brought to you by Trezor. Trezor makes beautiful hardware wallets that make it easy for you to self-custody your assets. I'm a big believer in self-custody. I have been for years. I've been preaching self-custody for years because exchanges get hacked, software wallets get hacked, but hardware wallets, you control the private keys, guys, and that device can be locked up in a safe where no one can access it, right? So Trezor, they were the ones who pioneered crypto hardware wallets. They started it all back in 2013. They created a seed phrase setup and much more. And their hardware wallets, folks, are open source. That's how much they trust the code they put together. Anybody can view that code, but it is top of the level security. It's quantum ready, and their new device, the Trezor Safe 7, has amazing, amazing upgrades to the chip, the security, and much more. And Trezor's device, they support all the crypto assets, guys. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano, and much more, all the latest and greatest. So check it out. They also have a great software suite called Trezor Suite, which helps you to manage it. They also have a service that you can speak to a Trezor rep to walk you through the setup of your device. Don't worry, they don't ask you for your private keys. And I'm a user of the device. I use the Trezor Safe 5 and the Trezor Safe 7. Many of you may have seen my unboxing video of the Trezor Safe 7 recently. And folks, they have a holiday sale going on. It actually ends tomorrow, January 5th. So if you want to get the holiday discounts up to 30, I think actually more than that, 50% on certain devices, check it out. Go to Trezor's website. Link will be in the description. Okay, folks, you got a big update here from Tom Lee's Bitmine. They are staking $259 million more of Ethereum, pushing validator entry queue to near 1 million ETH. Wow. So Bitmine, you all know, is an Ethereum treasury company. They're buying billions in Ethereum, and now they're staking some of that, right? That's one of the great things about proof of stake blockchains, because you have the passive rewards. So this is a big part of the strategy, not just holding the asset and having the arbitration with the stock price, with the MNAV and so forth, but also the ability to stake and earn these passive rewards and grow the value of the asset being held on the book. So we are seeing more of these firms continue to buy, and now they're staking. And now, obviously, Bitcoin folks can't do this, and certain assets can do this, but the Solana and Ethereum treasury companies certainly can. Now, speaking of ETH, Neobanks will fuel Ethereum's 2026 growth, says EtherFi CEO. So Ethereum has some major upgrades coming this year, and I think we all want to see Ethereum do well, because a lot of altcoins are built on Ethereum, and it's also a signal for the altcoin market. So when ETH is breaking out, that's very good for the altcoin market. Now, I don't make the rules. Whether you love or hate ETH, that is beside the point. We want to see how the market makers and the whales are moving the liquidity through the market. So that's why I'm highlighting that historically we've seen this. So as Ethereum closes a pivotal institutional year, Ether.fi CEO and co-founder Mike Silagads, if I'm saying that right, is already looking ahead to 2026, and he believes the network's next phase will be defined less by speculation and more by financial products that feels familiar to everyday users, he told CoinDesk in an interview. EtherFi is best known for its restaking platform on Ethereum, but has since expanded its focus towards building crypto-native neobanking products that combine yield, self-custody, and on-chain financial services. He described 2025 as a turning point for Ethereum, marked by a wave of institutional onboarding while staking remains limited within ETFs. He said other institutional vehicles like digital asset treasuries have moved faster. Now, his thoughts about the neobanks, I think that makes sense. I think as crypto and blockchains adopted and we have regulations, you're going to see a lot of DeFi, neobanks, and much more being created. So it's going to be interesting. And some of the digital asset treasury companies can create, the business arm of a neobank as well. So it's going to be interesting. And look, again, if you love or hate ETH, that's not the point. The point is what is actually happening, the reality of the situation. And ETH continues to get institutional adoption. Okay, we got some Bitcoin news. So Bitcoin Core sees development uptick, reversing multi-year decline, CASA CSO. So the Bitcoin Core saw a significant uptick in development activity during 2025, with mailing list traffic up 60% year over year, 135 unique code contributors, and approximately 285,000 lines of code change, according to data compiled by CASA Chief Security Officer James Loop. So this is really great. People are continuing to develop and build on the Bitcoin blockchain and its ecosystem. And, as they come up with cool new innovations and developments, it will help boost adoption. So really great to hear this. Final news item, Representative Ritchie Torres to target insider trading on prediction markets after a bet was placed on Venezuelan President Maduro being captured. So some sort of insider trading happening here, guys. I hate this stuff, man. Especially, it's someone from the government that knew this was going to happen and they put a bet. So U.S. Representative Ritchie Torres, who's one of the top Democrats who was supporting crypto. Remember, he called out Gary Gensler big time in the hearings and so forth. He's preparing to introduce legislation aimed at curbing insider trading in prediction markets following scrutiny around a highly profitable wager tied to the reported sudden capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. In a Sunday post on X, Punchbowl News founder Jake Sherman said Torres plans to introduce the Public Integrity in Financial Prediction Markets Act of 2026. The bill would prohibit federal elected officials, political appointees, and executive branch employees from trading prediction market contracts linked to government policy or political outcomes when they have non-public information through their official duties. I 100% support this, right? We can't have this crap happening, guys, and they need to put all these things in place. I think even they should ban public officials from having meme coins. And I know the president has one, and the first lady had one, and Donald Trump's son had one. Barrett, you all know from day one, I said, bad look. No government official should have, anything like that. But I digress. As always, I'll keep it real. I'll tell you like it is. You all know my political affiliations. I'm an independent, like a moderate, right? So I don't necessarily support any party. I'm not die hard for any party or like that, right? So I call it like I see it. And I hope Representative Ritchie Torres gets this through and this is passed. And there's other things too, that they probably need to do with stock trading, crypto trading, and much more. Anyway, guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. If you appreciated this content, please be sure to support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. We have over 7,200 subscribers on this newsletter, guys. And once again, it's 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. So link will be in the description. Be sure to check it out. Also, check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. Grab a copy. And if you want to expand your knowledge about crypto, folks, check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto and blockchain technology. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.